We're 2 years into the pandemic and life has changed more than ever. 94% of students around the world have been affected by the closure of school and other learning spaces, with that number reaching up to 99% in low and lower middle income countries. That is almost every child in the world affected. The education system has been significantly impacted by the coronavirus epidemic worldwide. The United Nations Education, Scientific, and Cultural Organization acknowledged the unexpected power that has been causing school systems to close for a few years now. Health is always the top priority. Here in the Philippines, it is likewise true, and the Department of Education created plans on how to continue learning in every way possible. DepEd was able to develop strategies to maintain education through collaboration with the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases. The state opted to close schools, colleges, universities, and other learning institutions in order to abide by the lockdowns being implemented around the nation out of concern that the virus might spread among students. Learners and teachers had to deal with the substantial damage to the quality of education too. Remote learning still made it possible to uphold the strengthening minds of this generation. Face-to-face classes were suspended to stop the virus from spreading and infecting individuals, and in order to continue the learning processes, parents and guardians were surveyed to choose which method of learning their family could follow. Many parents and guardians chose a modular approach to education to avoid overcrowding the classrooms and reduce the risk of the virus spreading. Lessons for a specific time period were printed and distributed in this situation. Some are valid for 2 weeks, while others are valid for the entire quarter of classes. Some were created by the Department of Education, while others are printed by instructors, parents, or guardians. It is unclear how individuals or families can be supported in this manner, because not everyone has access to computers or funds to print the modules that the government didn't produce. Not everyone has the financial means to cover the cost of printing them either. People who lost their jobs would have had money set aside for food instead of schoolwork. On-the-go USB devices were distributed to parents or guardians in some elementary schools so they could view the lessons on gadgets, but not everyone has a smartphone, laptop, or desktop to use this device on. Another challenge in this modular type is the capability of guardians or facilitators at home to teach and explain the lessons to the learners. Many might not even know the lessons themselves. Some or many students also stay with elderly people who are no longer able to teach. There are instances of indigenous groups of learners too. People can even experience problems obtaining the modules and returning them to schools. Many people who have the capabilities for this mode of learning choose electronics or online learning to lessen the hassle. Those who have access to the internet at home as well as gadgets and guardians are fortunate to continue their study despite being quarantined. College students conduct lessons and do examinations online, and some of the most important and fundamental activities in college courses require in-person or face-to-face interactions. However, because of this pandemic, many students are less motivated and focused on understanding their future careers behind screens. Additionally, some teachers are not accustomed to using technology or the internet. There are even students who don't know how to turn on their camera or microphone during Zoom or other online meeting platforms. Technology can be difficult to learn and it would definitely take some time to get used to. So this type of learning disadvantages students who have special needs as well. Conducting classes online puts them in a much more difficult place because they rely more on physical interactions. Both modular and online learnings require facilitators to spend time at home, and many people who live with their students do not have access to other people who could help them learn while taking care of household duties. Others are forced to hire tutors because they own businesses and work away from home, which would increase their daily costs. The government is doing its best to lessen the spread of the virus. However, its measures greatly affected the education system. Due to this, low-income families' reliance on public schools is evident and is crucial for computer and information technology lessons to be included in the curriculum. This pandemic taught great lessons of readiness in case of abrupt and difficult challenges like this. Moreover, it created several online opportunities for instructors and students alike that will still be useful if the disease becomes more widespread.